Welcome back to my YouTube channel, and I'm glad to have you join me today. And we're going to have an interesting discussion of why our teenagers end up being silent and quiet and do not communicate us, or they give us that silent treatment that we all hate and we dread sometimes, especially when you hear from other parents or it is already happening in our own home. So we look at 5 reasons generally why they might end up getting to that point of feeling that they have to keep quiet or they do not feel like sharing at all. So let's get right into it. And before we do that, I'd kindly ask us to subscribe so that this information can get to many more parents out there. So let's start. Why is my teenager quiet and not talking to me? The first one, it could be just part of a normal teen development. Imagine that, dear parent, that there's nothing you have done. It is them getting me to this age whereby now they have this ability to think deeply about issues. And when they get to that point, they sometimes just want to sit back, relax, and think about what they are going through and the various experiences that they are going through, even as they interact with their friends out there, as they interact with you, even as they think about their body image, and they think about, why am I here, why was I created, and they reflect back on their childhood, how it was, and what it means for them. So it is them getting to that point of deep reflection and looking at their identity and who they are. And so they will tend to retract back and have that time to themselves and just to see how it is. And also sometimes, even as they develop, they want to hear other people's opinions of how life is and how things are. So they might reduce the level of how the information that they've been sharing with you. And because now they are also learning how to form deeper relationship with their friends and other people out there, they will end up now taking a fair share or a small percentage of that conversation to their friends and hearing the advice or what they will tell them about it. And so, and that we want to celebrate that to some extent because we want them to learn how to form other connections out there. So hopefully, us as parents, we've been guiding them on the right kind of friends to have or right kinds of people to interact with, not only their friends, but other adults, whether your relatives and the likes. So that could be part of the journey of what is happening and why they tend to be quiet. So let's allow that, and let us sometimes not blame ourselves that maybe we did something wrong and that's why they are like that. No, let us allow them to be to that space to do it. And in that light, even as we do that, always tell them and share with them and have this open door whereby in case you have anything you're struggling with, you can always come to me to have that conversation with. So that is number one. The second one is they don't feel emotionally safe to talk. So how has the home environment been from a while back, or even from how now they're transitioning to be teenagers? Have they been receiving a lot of lectures when they talk? Do they hear a lot of interruption from us as parents? Because without even knowing it, sometimes as parents, we have these thing that I am the adult here, I know better than you, so just let me speak. Subconsciously, that is why we keep interacting, and that is why we keep interfering or giving them these long lectures without doing it. But then yet for this teenager, how they receive it is that my parent doesn't believe I can think for myself. They don't believe I have something to contribute or something to say. And they also don't feel safe in that environment that if I share these, my parent will interpret it and just make a sarcastic comment or just say, "Oh, I can't believe you think like that. You know, you should not think like that. You're a child, or you're a child. There's nothing you can think that will change how I think about this situation." So if they feel there isn't that emotional safety for them to talk, they will end up retreating back and being silent to protect themselves from having this emotional discomfort, or from them now developing this ability to have so many other thoughts being just dismissed like that because they are a teenager, or because they are, as quote unquote, they are still children who are not supposed to talk a lot. So do they feel safe at home? Will they feel a bit bullied? Will they feel just not handled with respect and with maturity from you as a parent, that can also cause them to shut down. The third reason, they are overwhelmed and can't find the words. Oh, the period that these teenagers are going through is a bit tough, because they have the digital world to deal with. They have the friends to deal with that come from other homes that sometimes we feel they have not been parented in the right way and they have to relate with them. They have the school pressures coming in. The information they are receiving from the series, the music, the movies, they are telling them they are not enough. Their body image is not enough. And it's not only for the girls, even nowadays, the boys, they have to have this six pack. They have to look a certain way and dress a certain way. So they are overwhelmed by all these things that's coming from. They might be experiencing stress and anxiety and emotional overload, especially if they have a phone, if you've already given them a phone. The online life has a lot of emotions coming in. So it can be happy, sad, angry, frustrating, and disappointing. All these emotions coming in from them being online and the like. So now they're wondering, because there's this emotional overload, they're wondering, how do I share this? How do I express myself? Which method is safe, especially if they're out there and they have heard so many things, and from various sources. How do I talk about all that I am going through? So they do not know how to put it in words in the right way. And so we need to sometimes give them time on how to talk about it, and if you see them struggling, as you have that conversation once in a while, just ask them, how can I, as you listen to them, you can just say, is this, allow me to just try and figure out if this is, you're feeling frustrated, or is it disappointment, or is it a feeling of a bit of hopelessness, just you coming in innocently and respectfully and trying to help them to put it in words. And if you notice it is a certain thing they're struggling with, body image, friends issue, not having a phone. How can you now sit back and think what could be the things that they are going through emotionally or they are having a challenge with? And then you coming and just having this open-ended discussion and about it, and helping them to find words slowly by slowly without attacking. Here you need to be careful not to really attack them, because already they are not able to talk because they don't know how to phrase the words and how to say it. So you need to come in with that source of curiosity, wanting to learn from them. And then if they are like this, they feel overwhelmed, doing activities. As they are doing exciting activities, as they express that excitement, and they're able to let go and let loose, in that aspect, they'll be able even to share, when you're playing that football or that card game or cooking together or whichever activity or driving, they will end up just saying something, mom, or dad, I have this friend where they did this, I felt bad, and then I went online and I saw this thread about this person who is by so and so, and I was wondering, and I saw this other friend, they have this lifestyle. So as activities, they feel they are relaxed and they'll be able to share. So you as a parent, God has given you the gift of wisdom and how to be creative. You can see how you can help them slowly by slowly to get to that point of where they are able to talk. And even you can use things like conversation starters, of have them on my website for free, where they have over 36 questions, random questions that can help you to strike a conversation with your teenager or preteen, and you can use it as one of the games. And even as you ask, as these questions come with various ways of asking them, it will also prompt them to open up. So it is on you as a parent. It calls for you to be patient with them, even as you go along and helping them to find the words. And here it means that you need to be present as a parent. You really need to come home in the evening, maybe just a bit early, and spend time with them over the weekend, just limiting the amount of time we are out there with our friends, because it is in the quantity of time that this teenager will be able to relax with my parent and they can talk. Because this feeling overwhelmed and not being able to talk, one, it's because of that tension of everything that's going on in their life, and also the lack of being able to just get used to this person and being in that relaxed mode, so that now they can able to release what they are experiencing. The fourth reason here, it can be the communication at home may not be helpful. So your child gets to learn with time that how safe it is to talk, from you. How safe is it for me to share what I am going through? Is the conversation going to be one-sided? How are you going to react? When I share with you this, are you going to be reactive and judge me, and now stop me from doing a certain thing because I have shared something with you? Or will I feel safe, when I come, when I share? Or will you dismiss me? Or will you just tell me we'll talk about it later, and that later never comes? And are we there for them to talk to us? So they might have made a decision that sharing any information at home, I may not really receive any help from my parent in whichever way that they come, because they already see. And sometimes, dear parent, it could be because they already you that you're overwhelmed with your own emotions, with your own life. So this teenager might be feeling, how can I come and add to my mom or to my dad this other pile of what I am going through? And especially more so if you are a single parent, you already are overwhelmed and wondering what is what, and trying to play various roles. So, and if you are sharing a lot with them about it, they might feel that, let me not add another layer to them. And even now, for all of us, whether married or single, are we able to deal with our own issues so that they can feel like can come and share these information? Or will you be of help to me even as I share? Or or have they been receiving from you how things are not working, how my partner or my friend, everything? So we have been the one pouring down on them our frustration and our issues, so that they feel, I will not receive any help because already they are struggling with their own issues. Let me not add more, because chances are high they will me because they're already overwhelmed with theirs. You'll be surprised the conclusions these children make in how we relate with them. So now, how are we coming about and helping them to feel that when I share or when I talk at home, I'm going to find, I'm going to find not even a solution for teenagers. Most of the time it's not about finding a solution for them or advice. It's about a listening ear, and you being able to empathize with them. So you need to be emotionally available and present for them to be able to talk to you and feel that when I share with you, they'll be helpful. It's the same way for you as a parent. You will go to talk to someone who you think, when I share this thing, I will be understood and they will be able to help me with a solution. Same thing with a teenager. Have you as a parent position yourself as someone that they can come to and feel safe, and that you will help them through various issues. And lastly, the last thing we'll look at why our children might be silent is they don't know if you'll really listen. It somehow relates with the other ones that we have talked about, because when we talk, we want someone who will understand us, and that is a challenge that most teenagers have with us, that we don't feel understood, and they're not sure if you will really listen, or you will just be there with your phone or with your activities, or you will just share what you want for them to pick, and not at the end of it, not having been heard of what exactly they are sharing. And how you can handle that is because they feel misunderstood, that one, they are not allowed to finish everything that they wanted to pour out. We can allow them to listen. How we can combat that is allowing them to listen until, and you can even tell them, when you're finished, tell me, so that now I can talk. And that will allow them to pour down, to pour out, to pour out. And then another aspect, now secondly, you come in and say, I hear you are saying that, or from what I get from you, you are saying that you need to have this friend because they are the only one who listen to you and you feel comfortable with them, and and this friend does not judge you. So have I heard correct? And then now you come back and say, yeah, the other day this happened and they were there and they helped me through it and the likes. So you see now you're beginning to have a conversation, and they're able now to, and they feel so excited, especially that excitement that, whoa, my mom has listened, and they have actually said back what I said, and yes, they feel heard. And maybe the challenge you have with them is that that friend has been caught, has been suspended, or they're hanging also with other groups of people that are not right. But before we get to that aspect of the solution, or now you sharing with them why they should not hang out with this friend, you'll have come from a point of understanding where they're coming from. And then now that child will be able to pause and say, okay, now let me listen to what my mom is saying, because they have heard that this friend is this valuable to me because of this and that. And so now you have earned the right for you now to advise or to offer a solution, to suggest a solution of why that particular person is not the right fit for them. So it's a whole journey, as opposed to compare now to you coming and they're beginning to, you're telling them this friend and they're beginning to share how this friend is. No, 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 that is not the right kind of friend. You should not have such a friend. You should stop talking to them, and that is it. So you've ended up giving them this 15-minute long lecture, but you've not gotten to the heart of it. So what happens is that they realize my parent doesn't really listen. So when they ask me how I am or how my friends, I'll just say I'm fine, and that is it. So we see this aspect of communication, how sometimes it goes back to us. It's not really, and we've seen from the 5 points we have shared, only one is where we can say it's the teenager going through that developmental stage. The other 4 is mostly our responsibility, and it is us checking where we are coming from. And I'm not saying that the teenager can play a role in this and not wanting to talk to you as a punishing you or trying to gain control over you and the likes. All that happens. But generally, as the journey continues, and even how you can start working on communicating with them, it falls on us as a parent before they're adults and they go out there. So I'm hoping this discussion will help us and will give us action points of where to start. If you need more help, you can always reach out to me. My information is in the I'll attach my information in the link below, and even you can go to our website on ParenTeenKenya.com, and you'll find so many other resources that can be helpful for you to use with your teenager, even in this journey of trying to connect with them more. So that is it for today. I will see you in the next one. Don't forget to subscribe.